My name is John McKeon, and we are here live with James Semenak, digital road warrior. He is the person that runs around and gets to do all the really cool stuff with really big companies. James, you've had a great time at Partners this year. Tell me, any big revelations from talking to all your friends and colleagues here this year?
Hey, John. Yeah, I have. And the thing that's really struck me a couple of days ago, probably the first day I was here at Partners, I was out to dinner one night with some colleagues, and something struck me and kind of changed my whole perspective. As you know, I do a lot with data and large data and sourcing data and analyzing data and trying to think from a customer perspective, how do I really need to use this data, then how to structure it. But what's been on my mind a lot and with customers and clients that I talk to is, mobile and social, right? How do I think of mobile and how do I analyze it? All the boring stuff about how the data and stuff comes in. And social, where does that fit? But what struck me during a dinner conversation, I think it was Sunday night, was that mobile and social are the same. They're intertwined. And in my mind, in my framework, they were two different data sources, and we have to figure out how to structure them. But the two together is is really the powerful thing. And I'll get to the story, but the other thing that has prompted this is over the last couple of weeks, you've seen Google and do their earnings announcement, and their advertising is down. And I'm not an expert. I don't know exactly how it's down, but there is a trend to mobile, and the mobile advertising form factor and footprint is different than the site, and these companies are struggling with it. And we know Facebook has a big mobile push, right? You've seen it in many articles, and they're the social giant. And so I would, with that in the back of my mind, we're having a nice dinner, and there was a colleague of mine. She was telling me we were talking about tablets and comparing tablets and stuff, and she started telling me how her children use the tablet, and they have this. It's I don't even know the name of the program, but it's a drawing. It's a social app. It's a drawing app, and they draw pictures, and then with other people, and they do it in their family. Like her experience was with her grandmother. So her grandmother and granddaughter would play this game where the daughter would draw a picture, and the grandma would have to guess it. And then they'd do this socially, and it struck me at that moment is that mobile and social that's where they're intertwined, and we need to think of them that way from an analytics perspective, because the users engage with them that way. They're not two separate things.
Well, James, I think you're on something really important here. It's about their customer experience, not how we view it.
Yes, and we, as kind of data people and analyst people, we do the divide and conquer, right? That's how we solve problems. That divide it, then this channel of data, put it here, that channel of data, put it there, get your basic metrics out of it, and then 6 months later, now I need to tie them both together. It's kind of my vertical and horizontal story, if you don't mind me. So generally, the way I articulate it is when we build data warehouses for reporting and analytics, we build them from a vertical structure perspective, right? Source email data, and then we run counts of email sent, email conversions, and that's valuable and interesting. And then we bring in the web data, and we do run counts of that sort of stuff, right? That's, to me, a vertical. What really the business is looking for is the horizontal view, right? What, across every one of those devices and channels, what is the experience? And it's a different structure, it's a different approach, and we need to start thinking of it more that way.
Well, James, but that is a huge challenge. As a data person, as a business person, I'm thinking about how I'm structured, what I own, and maybe I own one little thing to solve for the customer. How do we make the cultural transformation, the organizational transformation, and the siloed data transformation to really, truly sit in the customer's experience?
Wow. I would be a very rich consultant if I could respond to that in 30 seconds. But it is what organizations are going through, and I don't have an answer to that, but I'll give you some observations with the clients that I've worked with this year. One of the things that's on top of my mind, and it doesn't answer any one of your things specifically, but for the first time, I've seen companies are transforming their data organizations into agile organizations. They're bringing in more. They're bringing in the agile methodologies and training, and I think that's going to make certainly an interesting change. But I think there's going to be some valuable pieces there. I think with the new technologies that we're seeing between Hadoop and relational databases, the organizations I would say they're stressing right now to say what is the end state architecture or the next end state architecture, and the kind of, I guess, I don't know if I call it a caution, but what I see is we need to we need to make sure we build these architectures so that we can analyze things horizontally versus vertically going forward. Putting a bunch of data into HDFS and trying to do the same thing you're doing in a relational is, I think, uninteresting. I understand there's costs and stuff, and I acknowledge that, but I think the opportunity is to put the data across those two types of platforms and then look at it horizontally. And what does that mean?
You've just heard from James Semenak, a great revelation from a person who is in deep with these companies every single day. James, thank you much for being here live at Partners.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.